Hello friends, how are you? And thank you so much for subscribing and liking my channel. In this series, as we continue with our algebraic expressions, I want us to look at brackets. Now brackets serve the same purpose in algebraic expressions as they do in arithmetic. Now for instance, let's look at some examples. We could be asked to remove brackets, or brackets in, let's look at some 2 or 3 examples here where you're asked to remove bracket. Going forward, we shall get to know one word that can be used to replace these 2 words, remove brackets. So for instance, you have 3 into b minus a. Now what this means is that 3 is multiplied by what is in the bracket. So here we have 2 items, 3 and b minus a. When you have a bracket, everything that is inside the bracket is considered to be one entity. So here we have b minus a as being an entity or an item, and 3. Now to remove bracket, what is outside the bracket affects each and every item inside the bracket. So if you are multiplying by 3, that is in the multiplication, that is what happens, that when you are doing carrying out a multiplication, then what is outside the bracket affects each and every item inside the bracket. So here we'll have 3b, that is 3 multiplied by b gives us 3b, and then 3 multiplied by minus a gives us minus 3a. So this is what it means, or what it reduces to, when we remove the bracket. Now if you consider another example, let's say of 2p into p plus q. Again, this is the same as 2 multiplied by p multiplied by what is in bracket p plus q. So here we have 3 items, and this again, as we had said earlier, what is outside the bracket when you are doing multiplication affects each item inside the bracket. So here we'll have 2p squared and then plus 2pq. Remember, we have 2p multiply p to get pq, and then the same 2p as that. If we consider another one, let's say we have let's say like 4 into a minus b plus let's say 3d. Okay, so to remove the bracket, it's 4 multiplied by a, 4a, then 4 multiplied by negative b minus 4b, and then 4 multiplied by 3d, and that gives us 12d. So whatever is outside the bracket affects each and every item inside the bracket. So this is what what it reduces to, what this reduces to when you remove the bracket. Let's consider a 4th example. We have like 5 into m plus n, then minus even 2 into m plus n. Again, to remove bracket, so it will be 5 multiplied by m, that gives us 5m, then 5 multiplied by n to give us 5n, then minus, be very careful, when there's a negative you have to be very careful, because a negative has an effect of altering the signage when it is used to multiply any other number. So this here we don't have we don't have 2. It's not a 2. What we have here is a negative 2. You must never forget to recognize the negative. So here negative 2 minus m times m is minus 2m. Then negative 2 times n will be minus 2n. So a number of people forget that this negative affects everything inside there, and so you find most common mistake, like in this case, they would open the bracket here and find minus 2m, and instead of having minus 2n like we do here, they would have positive n, failing to recognize that negative 2 or a negative number multiplied by a positive number gives you a negative result. So here we have removed the brackets, but it's always advisable before you wind up, if you have an algebraic expression that has 2 or 3 or more terms like we do here, you need to find out whether they are like terms so that you can simplify it even further. So like in this case, I can see I have 5m and I also have minus 2m. Those are like terms. We have 5n and minus 2n. These are again another set of like terms. So we can consolidate them or bring them together. So like I have 5m plus negative 2m, which is the same as 5m minus 2m, and that gives me 3m. Then 5n minus 2n, that gives me plus 3n. So this is the simplified form of this expression when the bracket is removed. Now this process, the process of removing brackets is called or was referred to as expansion. So this is the one word that can be used to replace these two words, remove bracket. So if you are asked to expand an algebraic expression or any other arithmetic expression, you are simply being asked to remove the bracket. So like in this case, if you are asked to expand 3 into b minus a, you are actually being asked to rewrite it as b 3b minus a. Thank you so much. You remember to subscribe if you haven't, and give me a like, and take care. Bye bye for now.